So here we are, and we are going to talk today about the 12 powers of man. 12 powers of man. And I'm going to call it that throughout the talk, recognizing that over the years since Charles Fillmore brought through this wonderful information, the title has been changed many, many times. But we're just going to stay with Charles's. You know, it's really interesting. Back when Charles Fillmore wrote about the 12 powers of man, I think what was going on there is he was really channeling this information. Channeling is a pretty common word now, and everybody is more or less comfortable with the idea of channeling, and if they're not completely, they're coming around to it. I was having a conversation, I know she's been here many times before, but with a wonderful minister friend of mine, Reverend Tony Bain, and she has written, oh my goodness, she has written so many books about Charles Fillmore, who, by the way, has been referred to for many, many years as the Missouri Mystic. The Missouri Mystic. And he was an incredible man for his time. Well, he was an incredible man. He would be incredible now. But he was an incredible man, particularly for his time. Particularly for his time, because he was channeling this wonderful information. I had said to her, Tony, do you think that Charles was, what do you think about our Missouri Mystic co-founder of Unity? And she said, well, Nancy, I'll tell you exactly what I think. And she was the first one to be bold enough to say to me, and probably everyone at Unity Village if they'd heard it, I believe Charles was a channeler. She said, where do you think the information in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary came from? There is nothing else out there like the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. And Charles was very, very much into metaphysical interpretation of everything. And he did extensive study on the information that he received, whether it was sitting in his own quiet time of meditation or just how he got his information, and he would research it and to see how it would best fit in with the Unity teachings. And it was as a result of this prayer and meditation and listening in the silence, Charles spent literally hours each day in the silence, because he knew there was a great mission. He knew he was here on planet Earth for a very great mission. And so the man studied and read, and he was very much into the chakra system, and we'll probably talk about that maybe next week, or depending on what I get to say this week, maybe the week after that. And as a result of this, all of this study and his openness to bring through a way to see, Charles was very much a Christian, and he realized that if people were going to listen to and pay attention to the 12 powers in man system, that he needed to kind of fit it into the Christianity of his day. And so that is why, as you go through the 12 powers of man, not only does he talk about these 12 spiritual aspects within each of us and give us a system for developing them, he assigned, and it was a wonderful, wonderful move on Charles's part, and I'm sure Spirit's part as well, because we are one in Christ consciousness, and all of these spiritual powers are already within us. When we talk about faith and order and the things that we will talk about today, it's not like we have to even pray that, oh, please God, give me this. No, we already have these 12 spiritual faculties within ourselves. We came into this life, we are spiritual beings. And what Charles has given us is a system that we can easily work with to develop these God-given faculties. So someone had said to me, well, what are you going to be speaking about Sunday? And I said, well, I don't know if I could say as much as I want to say about the 12 powers in one Sunday. So we'll see what we do. We may get them all in today and we may not. But I think I know, because I've worked many, many years with the 12 power system, and I know how transformative it can be in our personal life. And what is it we know? Why do we want to transform our personal life and develop our own spirituality? Because we know we are not only doing that work for ourselves to change our own life and to change the way we approach life, but as metaphysical Christians, and that's what we are, we realize we know the power of our spoken word, of our minds. We know that to the degree that we work on ourselves and let our own light shine, bring forth those spiritual qualities within, we are affecting race consciousness. We are bringing peace into our world. That's what we're here to do. We're talking about power up your soul's purpose, and we established last week that our soul's purpose is to let our light shine, to be the very best spiritual being, to enhance our awareness of spirit working in and through us so that we can once again bring that to our world and do our part in transforming our world. And it may seem like, oh gosh, how can I, sitting in Edgewater, Florida, hearing about or thinking about or even kind of being convinced that yes, these 12 powers are within me, and yes, I now have a system for working with them. How can I change this world? Well, folks, don't get too caught up in the why or how. Just know that it is something that happens as a result of your simply saying, yes, I am willing to do this. I am willing to trust that all of the faith I will ever need in life, is already within me. My task is to use the 12 power systems or any other system that I might be even more comfortable working with, although I can't imagine what that would be, to enhance our understanding of that faith faculty that is within us. As I mentioned before, Fillmore attached each of the faculties to the 12 apostles of Jesus the Christ. And it's a wonderful system. Most of us who have grown up in a Christian environment know those disciples well, know that we could relate to them. And even if we've never thought of relating to them in relationship to ourselves, well, we are open and receptive, and it's a system that we can and may choose to work with. So the only possible thing that I've heard people say about the 12 powers, and this is like really for someone who has worked with the chakras. Does everybody know what the chakras are and kind of what they, of course you do. Well, the chakras, as you know, really just involves the spine. And they're all in a straight thing, and you bring your awareness to them, and it's easy to go just down your spine. The 12 powers are all throughout your body. So when you do a meditation on the 12 powers, you are actually focusing your attention on the center of your head, perhaps for faith, the very end of your spine for strength. I think one of my 12 powers has always been the spiritual faculty or the Christ faculty, whatever name we want to say there, is quickened in me. And I love that strength faculty. The Christ power of strength is quickened in me now. I am strong and unafraid. That's quoting Charles Roth's meditation on the 12 powers. And whenever I have found myself in a situation where it was a bit scary, I would use that, and it was like, oh, I can do this, I can do this. So it is with faith, with power, with all of them, and I'll name them and we'll kind of go through them. I don't know that we'll do a whole meditation on it, but the point is they are their friends. And it's sort of like 2 and 2 equaling 4, whether we want to believe it or not. It's just the law. It is spiritual law. And as spiritual beings, we can easily work with that law of spirit. So Charles wrote this, oh my goodness, he wrote the book, The 12 Powers of Man, and had, his experience, his revelation, his channeling come through, whatever name we want to do it, back in the 1930s. So, we are talking about something that's been around for a while. Longer than me. But anyway, been around for a while. It's zillions of people have worked with this system. I know when I really religiously did the 12 powers work, I personally was so empowered by it that I thought lots of people have to know about this 12 power systems. Lots of unity churches don't even talk about it. So you are in one of the rare churches, and we are rare, that is going to incorporate this into what we do here. And I know a few people who aren't here today, but I know a few people had approached me about, we really need to teach a class. And I know Diane had done that at one point. We really need to teach a class on the 12 powers. And, we can probably do that. If any of you all are interested in it, another possible class during the week, and it would be in the daytime, and just talk to me. Yeah, just let me know, and we'll see about getting something on the 12 powers together, because it is such an empowering class. The 12 powers and the 12 disciples are faith and strength and power and, I've got my little list here. Let me put it on. I get it out of order sometimes. But just as Jesus sent forth his disciples out into the world 2 by 2, Fillmore encouraged us to develop these faculties, once again, which are already within 2 by 2. 2 by 2. And over the years in Unity, people have come up with, goodness gracious, hundreds of ways to remember those, and which goes with which. And it does have a beautiful rhythm, and it does make sense to develop them just that way. And when you do the work, it's like anything else in truth. In Unity Metaphysica, I'll just pull it right into that. These systems that we have to work with work if we work them. Just hearing about them, knowing about them, and thinking, gosh, that sounds pretty good, really isn't very transformative. But if we take just an awareness of these powers and work with them, we notice our life changing. And that's kind of what it's all about, is just becoming aware of these truths. And then the choice is always ours. We can decide to work with them or not. I'm assuming today you might be interested in working with them. We have books out there that have been written. There's the newest book by a wonderful minister friend of mine, Reverend Sharon Connors. She's written a delightful book. Do I remember the name in this moment? No. But it's out there. It's very easy to come by, and she tells it mostly through people that she has worked with over the years, and the work that she has done herself, in just how transformative these powers are. I think the most important thing for me to remember about the 12 powers is that they're already here. Once again, it's not something I have to reach out for or pray to get. I've already got them because of who and whose we are. Spiritual being. Oh my, well, I might start channeling myself. I've just kind of clicked into another mode. So let me get on with this. I'm just going to mention the 12 powers and think about them in you. Don't go into, oh gosh, if they only knew, or oh, I'll have to be sure and tell someone about this, or gosh, yeah. These are your 12 powers. They are already within you. And this is the truth about us. And not only did Fillmore relate them to the 12 disciples, but he also gave each one of them a location in our body. And this is when, if we take the time to meditate with them, and once again, there's a few meditations out there, but Charles Roth's is my very favorite. And he takes you through the body and touches into each one of these spiritual faculties. Meditation is the best way. The meditation is the best way to develop these 12 spiritual faculties or powers. We'll take time in the silence. We go to those different locations. We can work with affirmations to enhance our awareness of those powers and to bring them forth in our life. So we have faith, which is in the very middle of the head. The Christ faculty of faith is quickened in me now. I see, I understand. I have all of the faith. I'm making it a bit longer than the ones that they have. But I have all of the faith that I need. I don't have to pray for more faith in my life. I have to realize, or I need to realize, that faith faculty is already within me. Start giving thanks for it, working with affirmation and denial, allowing more of that faith to be expressed in our life. The Christ faculty of strength is quickened in me now. It's all the way down in the lower back. All the way down in the lower back. And they told us we should never do this in ministerial school, but I'm gonna. I guarantee you that if you have problems with your back, that lower back, it's because, friends, you have given your power, not your power so much, your strength away to someone else. Could anyone possibly relate to that? Giving away your strength. My goodness, we do it a lot. We do it a lot. She knows better than I do. He knows this, she knows that. We call that giving away our strength. The Christ faculty of strength is quickened in me now. I am strong and unafraid. As we speak those words to ourselves, we are calling forth a greater awareness of the strength that we have that is inherent in us. So, let me put my specs back on so I get them in the right order, because I get a little carried away sometimes. There's faith in the center of our brain, strength in the lower back. Judgment. Anybody ever find themselves being judgmental? It's a good one to use. Once again, look in, this is a wonderful book too, which I think this is my favorite 12 Powers book. Might even be out in the library. It's by a wonderful woman by the name of Winifred Wilkinson Hausman, M-A-N-N. It's a little different than Susan's last name. Wonderful meditations in here, and she talks about the different faculties. And if anybody really thinks, oh gosh, I think I'm going to read about this, study about this, and maybe I'll give it a try. Very good book. I'd mentioned before that Charles Roth has a wonderful 12 Powers meditation. And I guarantee you that if you work with it, your life will be transformed. Your life will be transformed. You will find yourself, okay, right now these qualities are within us, and it's always our choice, our opportunity to focus in on them, to call them forth, and to, once again, allow that transformation to happen that only happens when we turn to a greater awareness of that spiritual part of our being. So faith and strength, judgment and love. Love is in the area of the heart. When we do this meditation, we are invited to bring our awareness to these different areas of the body. And this particularly for people who have worked with a chakra system. Chakra systems just have us go up and down the spine, which is great and wonderful. Fillmore has us going to different parts of our body, and some people find that a little disruptive, but I guarantee you, do it a time or two, and you become very comfortable with the moving of the refocusing of your attention. And once you do this a time or two and you see the results that it brings in your life, and you think, wow, here these were all this time, and I never thought to use them. The affirmations we may choose to use when we do this work, and whether it's with Charles Roth's book or the many different meditation practices out there related to the 12 powers, we see the difference that it makes in our life. We are empowered. We are empowered to simply show up in our life as different. So anyway, they are faith, strength, and we develop those two together. Judgment and love, power and imagination, will. You know that, you remember that, not my will be done, but thine? Yeah. Anybody willful in here? Yeah, I have a hard time with that sometimes. Understanding, divine order, zeal, renunciation, and life. And those of you who have been in this Unity Church, or there's lots of Unity churches out there that have the Christmas candle lighting service, and that is really focusing on those 12 qualities, allowing them to come forward. Until we become aware of something, nothing much can be changed. Until we become aware of something, nothing much can be changed. And so we have these different times of remembering. I'm pretty sure I chose the song, and we'll be singing about it a little later. Wonderful little song in our Wings of Song, written by wonderful Unity minister. She's in spirit now, by the name of Marilyn Rieger. And it's just a cute little tune. Once again, focusing on those 12 powers. It's a system that we have to rev up, to power up our soul's purpose. We have affirmation, we have denial, we have so many tools, but I find this 12 power system just so empowering and so easy to work with. Is that clock right?
It's 10 hours.
Huh?
Yep, 10 till.
Yep. What happened to the time? Gosh. Well, anyway, I guess I don't have a whole lot more time to talk, or you all will be late, and your dinner, your roast that I know you've got waiting in the oven is probably like overcooked. But anyway, this 12 power system is something that you definitely can use, and I encourage you to use in that revving up or that powering up of your soul's power. It gets you into a space of remembering who and whose you are, what you have, powers you have been endowed with. Charles brought this through. It has been used by, as I said earlier, so many people. I used it every single day. My friend and I meditated together when I was in ministerial school. And it got me through so many things that I didn't think I could do. Whether the power faculty was getting up and actually learning how to speak more than 2 minutes to a group of people, or the strength faculty of reclaiming the strength that I was that I have at my disposal and strength to do whatever it was. And we keep that all, of course, in a spiritual mode. And the more we work with these powers, and I think we've probably got a couple of 12 Powers books out in the library, I would encourage you to use them, to just allow yourself to, we love so much to talk about trusting spirit. And that's what these 12 powers help us to do, is to just trust spirit moving in and through us. And 12 Powers of Man by Fillmore, this book by Winfred Housen, just so many out there. Even this newest book by Sharon Connors, Unity Minister in someplace in California, I think she is. Wonderful, wonderful material. And since we know the blessing of taking time in the quiet, this is a wonderful thing to take into the quiet with us. To just center ourselves in remembering who and whose we are. Recognizing, calling forth those 12 qualities. And we are definitely doing our part to not only transforming our own life, but like I say, transforming the world. What are we transforming the world into? A greater awareness of spirituality. It's a whole planetary work that we're doing, you know. It's a whole planetary work. It's not just for us. It's to heal our world. As we heal us, we heal our world. Why can we say that? Because of oneness. Remember that whole idea of oneness? We're all connected, friends. We are all connected. The more empowered we are, the more of the truth that we know about ourselves, the more we are claiming it and spreading it throughout our world. So get yourself one of these books, incorporate it into your quiet time, and be the spiritual healer that I know you already are. So let's just take a moment, close your eyes if you care to. And just give joyous thanks for this time that we've had together in this place to talk about, to think about, to perhaps choose to work with these ideas. Be willing to listen, to be open. We can heal this world together. We just can, one person at a time. That's all it takes. So just stay in that quiet space, give joyous thanks in whatever way you feel comfortable giving joyous thanks. And know we will be continuing with this whole Power Up Your Soul's Purpose series. Be willing to learn, to understand. Be willing to be led by Spirit. And so it is.
Pastor?